In this tutorial, I will be taking you through how I created this smooth yet slightly wavy Afro fade. Before I began cutting Biftu's hair, I made my assessments and I took him to the basin and washed his hair to reset the growth patterns. This will ensure I'm going to achieve the smoothest finish possible. When back in the chair, I used my Dyson Supersonic with the professional concentrator attachment to dry the hair to natural fall. Once fully dry, I took the top down to a number 3 open, then closed with the grain to clear out the canvas. Once I completed my base length for the top, I then used a 2-guard open with the grain to slim down the contour area. I then flipped the clipper over and cleared out the sides with the 2 open. Now that the canvas was cleared, I established the lowest clipper number by using 2 to 3 fingers worth of spacing from the contour or the rounding of the head to create my new guideline, which now runs parallel to the shape I created on top. It's here where I started to implement a systematic process of techniques, starting on one side, repeating it on the other, and connecting it through the back. This way of working ensures we efficiently and effectively create balanced haircuts. Once I've established the 00 guideline, I then ran my foil shaver below it, ensuring I left a few follicles of hair below the guideline. I used a slightly modified version of our ascending technique for fading, which you can find in the theory section of the platform. In this scenario, when working with hair that moves once it's cut, I like to go in with a slightly higher number to begin. Therefore, I use my number 1 close to create my next parallel guideline, a little over halfway between my 2 open and my 00. Once I established this, I started to work down to the 00 guideline by using a 0 guard closed and going right beneath the number 1. Then using the clipper with no guard open and slowly working my way until it's closed. This is a visual as well as technical process. Once I completed this part of the process, I used my trimmer to knock out any faint lines between the foil and the clipper guard closed. Next step, I attached my 1.5 guard open and worked it to closed, right underneath the initial 2 open I used to clear out the canvas. It's now that you can start to see the fade coming together, but it's also now when things can become very visual. To smoothen out the colour spread, I used my 1 guard open, then closed again, going with and against the grain and using my brush to check the hair at all angles. I then used the 2 and went with the grain on the contour to take off any edge. If there was any hair I couldn't grab with the clipper, I sometimes like to use razor over comb or scissor over comb to refine. This is in order to have full control whilst doing so. I repeated the exact same process on the other side and through the back corners. Once I completed the fading process, I then moved on to the lineup. Again, this comes very visually and will differ on everyone depending on their hairline. The aim is to make it as balanced and symmetrical as possible, whilst also keeping it natural. We like to avoid pushing the hairline back beyond its natural way of being, as the grow out is sometimes unfavourable. I finished by using some talc and my cutthroat to sharpen the hairline. It's important to look at this from an aerial view to really see if the hairline is balanced. I then styled the hair by using some motion matte paste with the grain and mixed it with some sheen spray to add a light shine. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this tutorial and you'd like to watch more, please browse through our resource library. Take care and have a lovely day.